Today's math lesson is lesson 7.3, GoMath, equations with the distributive property. So more of the same in solving for variables, but we do have one additional piece today, and that's to use the distributive property. So I'm not sure exactly your experience and practices on this, but we'll break it down. So I'm going to rewrite the problem here at the top. So it's 3 times the parentheses, x minus 5 plus 1 on the left side equals 2 plus x. So the whole idea of distributive means you have 3 of the inside pieces, all right? So how you would do it is you multiply it times the inside first and then times the outside piece, all right? So let's do the inside first, 3 times x. All right, now I'm going to times it by the outside, so I need to think of this in terms of those go together. So if I have 3 negative 5s, that would be the same as negative 5 times 3. And that is my left side. Now I have my 1 that was on the outside of the parentheses, so be very careful, make sure you include that. Now I have the right side of my equation, which hasn't been touched. So just like we've been doing now, I'm going to combine like terms, so I can start with these two together, right? Minus 15 plus 1, that's just going up by 1. I can rewrite my x, and now on my right side, 2 plus x. I want to get x by itself. Where's my bigger x? It's over here, so I'm going to move the 1 over there, so I'm going to subtract by it. Subtract x on both sides. Now I have 2x minus 14 equals 2. And now I'm going to move that over. I'm going to cancel it out by adding by it. I'm going to add by it. So now I have 16. 2x equals 16. I divide by 2 on both sides. What am I left with? X equals 8. I could go back in, plug it in, and you would see that it matches. So I put my 8 over there. 8 plus 2 is 10 on my right side. On my left side, put 8 on the inside. 8 minus 5 is 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So a good way to check your work to make sure you have all these right. And this is GoMath's way to break it down. You can do it step by step. Review your student edition if you want, further review on how to do it. Here's another example. This one has a negative integer in front, so be careful when you're multiplying it. All right, so let's rewrite. 5 minus 7k equals negative 4. K plus 1 on the inside minus 3. All right, so I'm going to do my inside first, so it's negative 4k. And now take a look at my sign. It's positive, so positive, negative. When I multiply, it's going to be a negative, and so it's negative 4 times 1. That would be minus 4. And now I just bring down my other integer up above. Now I bring down the rest of my equation. Combine like terms. This is already here, so be careful. So we have negative 4, and we're subtracting 3 from it. All right, so if I want to look at it separately, I have negative 4 degrees, dropping another 3, so that's negative 7. Same thing as adding 2 negatives. So minus 4k, minus 7 on that side, 5 minus 7k. So I'm going to solve now for my bigger variable, so I need to make sure, think it through, which side do I want to do this now? All right, if I'm going to add 7k over here, my negative is going to become positive since absolute value is bigger on that side, so let's do that. We want the positive variable, so I'm going to add 7k. These would cancel out. Positive 7 minus 4, so that's going to be 3k. And now I rewrite, so that's minus 7 over there. I have 5. I want my integers to be on the same side, so I'm going to cancel that out by adding by 7. So that side right there, change my color. We have 12. On this side we have 3k. Get variable by itself, so I'm going to divide by both sides by 3. 4 equals k. All right. So there's GoMath's breakdown of it again. You can check that out on your student edition if you would like. Different example now, again a little bit more challenging. You're going to see that this has a fraction in the front, all right, and that's going to become a mess now if I'm going to multiply that by everything on the inside. All right, we have a proper fraction, and a lot of times it's not going to reduce into a whole, so you're going to have a mixed number, which becomes a mess. And so this is the strategy now. Whenever you have a fraction on the outside of a parentheses, we're going to cancel that out by multiplying times the denominator. So it would be the same as 4 over 1. That's going to cancel this out. But what you have to remember now is you're going to times 4 by both sides of the equation. So I need to times it by 4 here to cancel out the 4 on the bottom, and then I need to balance the sides, so I need to times it by 4 on both sides. Alright, so I already started this one here, right, so I can continue that. So I have 4 here, that canceled that out, and that leaves me with 3. Alright, and then on the other side now, this is what it was, negative 2. 9 plus x. I need to also times that by 4. Alright, so I'm only touching what's in front there. Alright, since it's inside the group, I don't need to touch what's in the inside right now. So in the front, negative 2 becomes negative 8. 9 plus x. Alright, sorry for the confusion there. That was miswritten. Alright, so here we go. Let's solve. Alright, so the left side now is we're going to do the inside, 3 times x. Now we're going to do the outside, 3 times negative 13, so that is negative 39. On the right side now, we're going to do our inside first. Negative 8 times 9 is negative 72. And now we have our inside, negative 8 times positive x, so that'd be the same as 1x. So that's going to be minus 8x. Now I need to combine like terms and to solve for my variable. So again, I'm trying to think of where is my variable going to be positive, right? If I add 8 on that side, all right, it's going to bring it more positive on the other side, which is better to use. So I have 11x on this side minus 39 equals negative 72. All right, so now I want to get rid of that negative 39. I do the opposite. Alright, so that cancels this out, and over here now I have negative 72 and 39. I have different amounts with the bigger negative, so I'm going to subtract and then match the sign. So we have 3, we have 33, we have negative 33. And what did I have over there? I had 11x, sorry for kind of the mess here. So we have a negative 11x equals negative 33, divide both sides by 11. Divide by 11, divide by 11, x equals negative 3. Alright, so kind of a mess, but that's what happens when you have fractions. It just makes that extra step of multiplying by the number on the denominator as a reciprocal to cancel it out. This is a type of word problem that you're going to be seeing later on. Again, we'll do our computation practice day 1, and then we'll do word problems day 2. But you can see now how this is looking. We have a tip and a reduction in there. So it's a matter of using those decimals again. You could use fractions if you wanted to, but using the decimals and then multiplying both of them, since we have the two fraction placeholders there, we would times it by 100 on the parts. And there is every GoMath way to break that down, and then you would solve for the amount. And we'll get to word problems as we practice this skill along the lesson. All right, so a couple more here. I'll just solve one more together with you, so you have an example to look at if you need it, and then we'll go to practice. All right, so I'll give you guys a moment there to solve that one. So notice we have that fraction in front, so we need to cancel that on the bottom out again, so we need to times it by a number. So if you guys want to start on it first, I'll just give you a moment, then I'll solve and you can check your work. You can pause it, I suppose, right, and then just play it when you need be. Alright, so in order to get 3 off the bottom, I need to times it on the top. So I'm going to times it 3 on the top over here. I'm going to times my right equation by 3. So that only affects the number in front. And so I'm going to have negative 15 now. 4 minus x on my right side. And then on my left side, the 3's will cancel out. So now I have 2 times the parentheses, 9 plus x. Alright, so now we go back to our strategy. We are going to do inside out. So here we go first. So that's positive 18. Now I'm going to do my outside. 2 times positive x. So that's 2x equals on this side negative 15 times 4. That's negative 60. And now this is where you got to be careful. We got the negative times the negative. Alright, so that's going to be a positive. So 15, I can get rid of them right now if I want to because I know that. So it's 15 times 1x, which is the same as 15x over here. Okay, now I need to solve for my variables. Alright, I want mine to be positive, so my bigger one's over there. I'm going to subtract it. minus 2x, minus 2x. What am I left with? 13x. And now I have my two numbers over here. I'm going to move my negative 60 by adding 60. So I do that over there, adding 60 to both sides. I'm left with 78. And now I have to solve for x, divide both sides by 13. Alright, so it's one of those ones you can use the calculator if you want. Hopefully you guys are getting to the point where you know now that 6 13s is 78, and then that would be your answer for x. Alright, so there is the strategy. Break it down. So you're going to see we're going to practice here for today until tomorrow. It breaks it down there in terms of what do the variables represent, the taxi fares in miles. And then here we kind of have a physics equation with speed typing words per minute. So plug in the numbers when appropriate. Straightforward answer right there, 300 words in 5 minutes with the errors. What's his typing speed? All right, and let me know if you have any questions. And the big part there is getting rid of those fraction denominators, distributing out those negatives, and just being careful with no simple mistakes.